No, and I was excited. I would go to the events with the ladies.
My daughter-in-law who has a car, who I love dearly, and we have a good relationship.
Can't get anybody.
No, sir.
Yeah, we do.
Because I've been in the world real nice way. Ain't much there.
There you go. Good to see you.
Yeah, man.
I get my magazine. Like I said, always. It's true, baby. And I've known about it.
I have heard that. Or read it, but I haven't committed to it. Elections.
Yeah, man, good deal. Yeah, good.
Hey, how you doing?
Well, I've got a quorum, so we're getting started.
George is here somewhere.
Yeah, I've banged the gavel enough.
Yeah, so let's go.
Yep. Welcome to the Biloxi City Council meeting for Tuesday, November 10th, 2020. Do I have a motion to accept the agenda? Oh, excuse me, we have some proposed changes. Do I have a motion to suspend the rules?
Moved.
Got a motion to suspend the rules by Councilman Glavin, seconded by Paul Tisdale. All in favor? Motion carries unanimously. The rules are suspended. Lucy, will you read the changes?
To our consent agenda, we're removing item 5F, resolution authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement for the city of Biloxi for the consolidated plan in action. And we're also adding item 5I, resolution authorizing the mayor to amend 2020 Biloxi action plan.
Thank you, Lucy. Do I have a motion to accept the agenda as amended? Motion moved by George Lawrence. Do I have a second? Seconded by Paul Tisdale. Discussion?
Are we going to leave 4A and B on the policy? Just ask.
Hey, why not wait another week?
No further questions.
You funny guy.
Thank you.
Funny guy.
All in favor? Motion carries unanimously. And for clarification purposes, the motion to suspend the rules was just Councilman Barrett, Deming, Glavin, and Tisdale. Newman and Lawrence were not in the room. So brings us to the presentation agenda. Mr. Mayor, your report.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. I think not a whole lot to report other than the recovery has begun. I think our group is doing a good job in keeping the citizens aware of what's happening. You know, as far as the plan, Crowder Gulf is involved, as well as the monitoring of Crowder Gulf in picking up, I think at this point in time, about 20,000 cubic yards of vegetative and construction. I think they were in my neighborhood with construction debris this morning. A little bit of a concern regarding how much is to be staged at least in a Beauvoir interim location. DEQ had some input about a limit as far as number of cubic yards, but they're moving right along. They have some machinery that actually reduces it 4 to 1 to get it to where it's actually compressed and more easily trucked to the location in north of the bay. So that's going along. People are recovering. People have been really, I think, outstanding in cleaning up and getting it to the curve. And now they're just awaiting our plans. But I think we were the first to pull the trigger. We have engaged that contract at the beginning of the year. So they were just waiting on our call. So they're doing a good job in recovering, you know, this surprisingly storm damaged area. So. Mike, I don't know if there's anything, everything's on the consent agenda. There's nothing big to report, I believe.
Well, we would like to remember that the Marine Corps is 275 years old today. Happy birthday to the Marine Corps.
You gonna do 275 push-ups?
Yeah, not even 27.
275.
That Crowder Gulf run rate, based on what they're moving today, is running about $100,000 a day.
Yeah.
It's going to be a big number at the end.
Well, I think the estimate was about 2 months to really get it wrapped up. But it's, you know, it's what we should do and what is demanded of, you know, of our government and as the citizens of Biloxi. I think they'll be pleased when it's all done.
Mayor, the other thing that I didn't forgot to say was our insurance company has mobilized all the different adjusters that are all for all the different underwriters, and they are moving around the city today, and were yesterday going, they're doing about 6 or 8 buildings or sites per day, and so they'll be doing that over the next couple of weeks. There's a lot of damage we weren't aware of originally. For example, at the Seafood Museum, when it seemed like the air conditioner wasn't working and they got up on the roof, they found out all the roof-mounted air conditioners are all blown over and disconnected. So, I mean, it wasn't visible from the ground that there was that kind of damage. So, some of our buildings, like the visitor center, got hit pretty hard. So, we'll have the insurance adjusters working as fast as they can to get our claims put together. And we'll, this time next week at the next meeting, we'll be able to update you on where they are.
And that concludes the mayor's report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Councilman Tisdale?
Yes, 2 things. Just a reminder that Wednesday is Veterans Day. I believe all the city offices are closed Wednesday, but I'm sure everybody in here knows a veteran, probably more than one. And that being the case, just take a moment when you see any veteran.
You're welcome.
Like our Mr. Marine Corps CAO, who could do 275 push-ups if pressed. I have no doubt about that. The second thing is Camp Wilkes is having a fundraiser Saturday, November 21st. It's their annual fundraiser, and also they're looking to raise funds to repair damage from Hurricane Zeta. So if you're interested in supporting Camp Wilkes, I suspect many of our council people have been out there on more than one occasion. I was a Boy Scout, and it was a lot of adventures out there in scouting. But that's, again, Saturday, November 21st. You can find more information at campwilksinc.org. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President.
Councilwoman Newman. Councilman Glavin.
Yeah, I just have a couple of comments and questions for the mayor. First, on a comment, I got an email today from the Mississippi Hotel and Lodging Association's Executive Director, Linda Hornsby, about an event that's coming up called the Beer and Bacon, and I think they're even adding chocolate festival to it coming up in March. We have several events annually that usually return during that time, and some even before, such as Mardi Gras. We got a big soccer tournament, Gulf Coast Cup, I believe, is in March, among other events. So my question to the mayor, and I know you're probably monitoring it, but at this time, do we see us proceeding with plans for Mardi Gras and parades and stuff like that? I know yesterday is the big announcement, Pfizer coming out with vaccines, and it will take a long time to initialize and get those things in place, but it's something we are going to be on the minds and hearts of a lot of people.
Well, as you know, these numbers change day to day, and you know, the social distancing is the main concern, especially with a parade. But I think some of the organizations have been relocating to do more than enough square feet to do, you know, sizable 200, 300 people to get the Coliseum in whatever flavor, whether it's indoor or outdoor. I think some of the tableaus, as I know it, have been changed to accommodate, and I think the parade, as far as Mardi Gras, are still in question. And so, you know, within 2 or 3 weeks prior to that, I think we're planning on, say, a go or no-go, based on the ground conditions, but we're hopeful.
Absolutely. Okay. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Councilman Guines.
Yes, just wanted to reiterate and speak on the numbers are spiking, so make sure we follow the CDC guidelines, different things like that. Wash our hands because the numbers are spiking again. The other thing, I had a question for the mayor. Are the crews out there yet picking up the trash?
Some of them.
Some of them?
Some of them from working from the west to the east, is that right?
They're supposedly working, you know, Jonathan's here. They working in all 7 wards right now?
Yeah.
Mike, if you have questions, one of you guys can use the handheld so you can communicate. He's got the.
Kiki.
If you would, when you speak, state your name and your position for the record.
I'm Jonathan Kaiser with Neil Schaefer.
Thank you.
The contractor has been working in the area, mainly in West Biloxi. They are planning, they've got crews right now in all the wards picking up debris, and they plan to continue that. They got a little bit of a slow start as far as getting north of the bay, concentrating in some of the areas around the staging area that they're using at Cavalier Park. So they've gotten everything worked out with DEQ on the permit for the debris reduction site at Cavalier Park. So they should be moving more quickly than they have been. So
About approximately how many crews you have out there?
I believe they have 10 loading crews with 20 trucks.
20 trucks. Okay.
Those are big trucks.
Those are the dual trucks.
That's correct.
The dual truck. Okay. I've seen 1 or 2. Thank you. That concludes my report.
Where the staging area is by Old Beauvoir School?
Old Beauvoir School.
Yeah. I think it's called Hollis Field.
Okay.
Baseball field. Hollis Field, I think is.
Hollisville.
It's
Okay.
Hollis Field.
You said you was working around safety issues. What safety issues you talking about?
If I misspoke if I said safety. We were working around a permit issue with DEQ,
Okay. Thank you.
just getting the permit approved.
I want to ask a question.
Felix, your mother did good on TV last night.
Yeah,
You did okay.
I just wanted to make sure that out there, I had a couple of calls and.
No, I know.
And I seen their trucks, but I hadn't seen them in certain areas, so I was just asking about it.
No.
Okay, thank you.
Did you hear what I said? I said your mother did good on WOX.
Oh, my mom?
You happened to be there too, so.
Mr. Guines,
Well, my mother, yeah. She feeds all of her little young boys like me. That concludes my report.
thank you, Councilman Guines. Councilman Barrett?
I just have a similar question. So now that everything's in place, are the workers going to be equally dispersed throughout the whole city working? Or will they work in an area and then move to another once that's complete? Or how will that work?
We have instructed the contractor to have at least one crew in each ward
Okay.
working. So there may be some wards that will have more crews in them than others, but they will be working in every ward.
Okay, and is there some type of schedule that will be put out or something like that and the reason I'm asking is, like Felix, I've gotten a bunch of calls on this, just people, when's my stuff gonna be picked up sort of deal, and just.
They're picking it up as fast as they can right now. When we had a preliminary approval for the staging site over the weekend, and the contractor, while they had hauled about 2,500 cubic yards a day leading up to that staging site, they hauled around 7,000 cubic yards a day.
Okay.
With the staging site open. And then we didn't have an approved permit on Monday, and so again, they hauled about 2,500 yards because they couldn't haul anything else to that site until we got the permit.
Okay.
So now we've got the permit approved, so they should be moving more quickly.
Okay, and Mike, you said a couple of months is what we're looking at for completion, something like that? Okay,
And
thank
Based on
you.
the, what was the original 200,000 cubic yards?
that was the estimate, was around 200,000 cubic yards. And the contractor's contract says that he'll make 2 passes around the city. So, we've worked with this contractor before, and he's going to be here until you tell him to leave.
Okay, all right, thank you so much.
They've been a great group to work with.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jonathan.
Just, the only other thing that I have is, talked to the mayor yesterday, and we got the go-ahead on our Christmas parade for Wool Market, December 12th. Of course, we'll be implementing some social distancing guidelines and eliminating the party at the end, but we wanted to go forward with that, so we'll be doing that December 12th at 2 p.m. So anyone that is interested in participating in that, we'd love to have you. That's all I have.
Thank you, Councilman Barrett. Councilman Lawrence?
Yeah, we got the shout out to all the veterans. The reason we're up here today is because what they gave up for us to be able to have these meetings for the city of the United States to be like it is, you cannot beat what they done, whether they gave up their lives or just the right to be out there to fight for us. So, I mean, it earned the 275 years of Marine, that's awesome. But that's what built this country, is the veterans, people giving up their lives for us to do the things we do. So you definitely got to thank them tomorrow. 11th day, 11th hour, 11th minute, that's the idea with 11/11. Another thing, are we going to have any festivals in the city of Biloxi? Anything at all? Anybody wants to put on anything? I mean, it's time for us to put up something. Get people like that Peter Anderson thing. People just looking to go somewhere.
Yeah. Well, again, we're trying to figure out the configuration that best, fits the conditions. And I know we've kind of canceled some runs and that sort of thing. And as far as city sponsored stuff, I can't answer that question now because I don't know what the calendar is for January and February and March. But of course, we're hopeful of everything that we can move forward. But to answer the question, I don't think we have any things scheduled at this point.
And the last thing, I've had a couple conversations with the people at the commercial harbor. Can they take the boats and put them back in the slips that are not damaged, or we have to do what to get them to come back to the harbor?
I think Larry met with a group of them today at the harbor, showing the conditions. Is Larry here? I don't know if Larry's here right now. But I know he had a face-to-face, and we're looking for what, I think there's the west part of that commercial harbor. And I think there's about 40-something boats that normally tie up there, and some big ones and some smaller ones. And looking at what we have available on the west side of Point Cadet is some alternatives, especially for the 40-foot plus boats. And I have not talked with Larry as of this morning's meeting, but we're mindful of what their need is and to get them off the temporary location that they're in right now.
Yeah, because they're in hurricane hole, they're up and down in the channels. anything you can do for them,
Yeah.
can help them, you know, because they ice boats. They don't go out long, they don't
And
last 2
again,
days.
comparing our harbor and our situation to other, I mean, I think we actually fared pretty well. We got some debris. I think they've side scanned a number of the small craft as well as the Point Cadet Marina. Now, they've identified some debris on the west wall of the commercial harbor, right along the Hard Rock bulkhead. So that's a hold up there. But we're mindful of it, and we're going to move it rapidly forward if we can.
Okay, well, I'll check back with you then, make sure we're getting this done so these people come back, because, they're still paying for the slips. You know, so the faster we get them back, the better it is for the city.
Yep.
That's it.
Thank you, Councilman Lawrence, and all that leaves is my report. I want to remind everyone that our 2 new green fire trucks, and when I say green, I don't mean the color of them. We do our best to keep you confused. But they'll be staged out here at 2:30 along with Jack the Fire Dog, who consequently is the most popular person in Biloxi, I think even more so than Mayor Fofo Gillich. He has his own trading card. Chief Boney, if there's anything you'd like to add to what's going on today, I'd love for you to take the microphone and give us an update.
Well, this is just a culmination of a process that we've been going through for about a year to get these trucks designed and built. And of course, you, the council, and the mayor has worked with us greatly to get these trucks that we have. We're very proud of them. First off, the firemen designed these trucks. They're green trucks, and this is the first in the state of Mississippi. And it all goes towards the prevention of cancer in the firefighters. So they had a stake in it, but they put a lot of effort into it, and they're very proud of them. So we brought them here today to be able, for y'all to be able to see. They look like a fire truck, but they have a lot of things in them that protect the firefighters for a long time to come, for 20 years to come. So we're very proud of that, and we just want to be able to have it here so y'all can see what your money buys.
Well, thank you. And lastly, I just want to thank all those at home that are paying attention or those that are following us on their remote handheld devices. We appreciate your attendance. And if you have any questions or concerns, go to the website. I monitor my text messages throughout the meeting. If there's anything you'd like me to ask or explain, I'd be happy to real time. That'll conclude my report. We'll move into citizens' comments. We have 45 minutes total, 3 minutes per person. If there's anybody on the right-hand side of the room or my left-hand side of the room that would care to speak, please come forward to do so now. There being none, if there's anyone on the left-hand side of the room, if you would, I apologize. If you would, use the microphone and state your name and sign in for us.
Okay, my name is Bo Jex, and I am now with the Memorial Hospital Foundation. I'm their governmental affairs person, and I just wanted to come by today and introduce myself. Some of y'all I've known for many years from my work with Gene Taylor, and I'll be coming to city council meetings from time to time wherever Memorial has a presence, just to see if anybody has any questions. As y'all know, we do have an affiliation with Merritt Hospital where we're doing some neurology things with them, and in turn, Memorial has been sending patients over to for therapy, mainly in the ways of speech therapy and other types of therapies, because Merritt has a top-notch therapy program that they do. So wanted to touch base with you on that. Another thing that we're working on is we are in the process through Gulf Coast oil restoration funds of building a $28 million pediatric outpatient facility at Memorial. It'll be the first one on the entire Mississippi Gulf Coast. Now whenever kids, babies need any type of pediatric outpatient, they've been having to go to Mobile or over to New Orleans, and will be affiliating with Mary Bastion up in Jackson as well as UMCC. So that's going to be something that we will hopefully be kicking off in the next couple of years. What I didn't realize, and I'm sure many of y'all didn't realize, is 70% of all pediatric procedures are paid for with Medicaid, and that's Mississippi Medicaid dollars. So if we can at least keep that money here in Mississippi without going to Alabama or Louisiana. It's going to be a big win for all of us. So, like I said, my name's Bo Jex. I wanted to introduce myself. Left everybody a card with some memorial goodies, and I'll be showing up from time to time with updates of what's going on with our facility, and be glad to answer any questions anybody may have.
Well, Mr. Jex, I appreciate it. When I saw your card and I looked at what we were doing with the fire trucks, it reminded me of when Mr. Taylor fought to arm our vehicles and protect our veterans or our soldiers at that time. And so thank you for your service you did with Mr. Taylor, and we look forward to seeing you here again.
Thank you all very
Yeah,
much.
Bo, it's good to have Bo here with us, and good to see him again. Yeah. All right, Bo, great.
Is there anybody else on the left-hand side of the room or my right-hand side of the room that would care to speak? That's okay. Again, I apologize for overlooking. If you would state your name and your address or your association.
My name is Craig DeRoche, and I live at 2592 Audubon Place, near Center Stage, in Biloxi, in Dr. Tisdale's ward. I love to give positive and negative reports. I do it fairly, in my own opinion. But today, I'm not here to give a positive report. I'm here today to complain. Biloxi, right now, is weak on crime. Last Wednesday, I had a court case that was dismissed by a prosecutor by the name of Stephen Eckert. I urge an investigation to see what his prosecutorial record is. If you guys are going to find that there's a high degree of dismissal cases, then I urge y'all need to take action. Now, I see you shaking your hand, and I hope you can speak too. But when I go to court as a victim, I make an allegation against people. But I have to fill out an affidavit, and in that affidavit you have elements of the crime that has to be met. Well, I know that. I'm a retired investigator, and I'm also a retired certified evidence technician for the city of Long Beach. When I come to court with evidence, I expect as a citizen who has paid taxes and is a U.S. citizen, much less anything else, that my evidence is going to be reviewed, that I'm going to be given the courtesy that it's even going to be looked at. What Mr. Eckert did was dismiss my evidence, and I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to take it all out, but I got it right here. Now, this is hard to ignore. And there's 2 DVDs in here that have audio of threats, harassment, and obscenities made toward me by 2 suspects. All I was asking was for my day in court, and I didn't get it. He denied my day in court as far as I'm concerned. And forgive me if I'm getting passionate about it, but that's how I lived my life. I defended people's rights, and we have a right to get in court and tell my side of the story. Well, lo and behold, I do a little bit more research. I don't have a right to appeal. He knows how to work the system, and I had to find out that court case. It's Cathcart versus somebody, 2017. You know how disappointing that is when you go to court and you bring evidence to help support your case, and it's discarded or ignored and not even considered. So he took this, goes in the back. I don't know if he looked at it or not, but based on what he did, his actions, he brings it back. And I know from past experience to check a DVD. And I sealed each one of these DVDs with tape, and you put the date on it and things like that. I brought it out, and guess what? It was...
I'm sorry, Mr. DeRoche, your time is up.
Thank you very much. My name's Craig DeRoche.
Do you have anybody else on the right or left-hand side of the room that would care to speak? There being none, we'll close citizens' comments and move to the policy agenda. Lucy, will you read Agenda Resolution A?
Resolution to appoint a president of the Biloxi City Council.
I'll move it.
Looks like it's, oh, man.
I'll second.
Second. Moved by Kenny Glavin, seconded by Paul Tisdale. Is there any discussion? There being none, I call for the question. All in favor, signal with raise your hand. Motion carries unanimously. We have a new president. That's the last time I get to bang this thing.
All right, Lucy, will you read Resolution B?
Excuse me, Nathan, we surely could have used you last week. I'm just saying, it was an adventure. No, Robert, you did a good job. But you missed it last week. It's a good week not to be here last week. Thank you, go ahead.
I didn't hear about it, so I don't know.
We'll
Resolution,
review it on tape if you'd like. you know, but-
resolution to appoint a vice president of the Biloxi City Council.
Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
I'll second.
All in favor? Kenny moved it. No,
I'll second.
Me,
Yeah.
me and
I think, yeah,
It doesn't matter.
whoever, you're the, don't, hey, look, don't have a repeat of last week. Go ahead.
yeah. All right, now we'll move to the consent agenda. Do I have a motion?
So
Moved.
All right.
I'll let
Felix
George move, I'll
first,
second.
Second, George. All right, any discussion?
Yes. I see where Home Depot donated a Generac. Where y'all gonna put that? Is that a complete building?
Fire department, he can take it. Chief Boney can take that.
D.
We had, during the storm, the generator at Station 2 broke, and we went to Home Depot to purchase one. We got the approval from the city to do an emergency purchase. We went to purchase it, and they gave it to us. They wouldn't let us buy it. They wanted to donate it to the city. So we have used that generator. We had to use it for about 2 days after the storm to keep the station operating so we could, respond to calls down there. But I thought it was very nice of them to donate that generator. It's about an $800 generator, so very nice.
And you're gonna keep it in the same place all the time, or you say, maybe you can move it?
Yeah, we'll keep it in the fire department, and if we need, like we lend them to other areas of the city when they need them, they'll be available for the city use.
Well, definitely a thank you to Home Depot. That's pretty awesome to do that. And the other one, there's a G. I'm so excited that we bought this building, and we're now gonna do a coating company or college like you wanted to do to start with. This is way better. That was a bad idea to start with. This is awesome to move the water department to the old Mississippi Power, the building right there behind the Nativity Church. That's a good thing. Great drive-through. You can get people off the street. When you go to Main Street, you're on the street trying to get in to pay your water bill. It's a good building. We're gonna sell the old building.
We're thinking about some things with the old building and the county.
We don't need 2 drive-throughs.
Let me report. We're thinking about some things, including the coding academy, so.
No, we don't want no coding. We're not in the college bit. All right, let's see what else we have. That's it. That's it for me.
Anyone else have any discussion? All right.
The budget.
Sorry.
County would like to answer that. I think what you're asking is, what is an omnibus?
Yeah, just give me a run through what's on, what, and I'm looking at, I understand.
It's for the items that exceeded the budget for the year to correct it. It's to close out the year end. Yeah.
There you go.
It was a short list this year. I think it's 2 items.
That's the main point, just 2 items. In my 3 years here, that was the shortest omnibus budget amendment we ever had.
All I had, I just want to note that.
Wasn't that fun?
Okay. Any other exceptions? All right, call for the question. All in favor? Unanimous, except for Robert is against B. Yeah. All right, Now we'll move on to code enforcements. Mr. Creel.
Item A, Shirley A. Belanasich Estate, 1616 Hollywood Boulevard. This property is still in violation.
All right, is there anyone here to speak on Ms. Belanasich's behalf or against? All right, if not, this case is closed.
Item B, Kai and Thu Van Nguyen, 123 Cedar Street. This property is still in violation.
Okay. All right, is there anyone here to speak on behalf or against this for Ms. Nguyen on Cedar Street? All right, this case is closed.
Item C, State of Mississippi, attention Derek Cooper, 361 Sherry Lane. This property is still in violation.
Anyone here to speak on behalf or against Derek Cooper on this case? If not, this case is closed.
Okay. Item D has been resolved.
All right. Now we'll move to the routine agenda. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Tisdale and Felix. All right. Any discussion?
George?
Up there, hey, Walt,
George, yeah. Yeah, we
you
always
put a
gotta
coat
be-
on and everything, make a little speech here. You look good.
Thank you. Paving on Porter Avenue, north of Division, and they're currently on Graham Avenue. After today, they'll leave the contract until next week, and then they'll be tackling a few other of these roads that need surface asphalt.
Do you have any time when they're gonna actually be finished? Oscar, when they are closing out everything?
They are very close. Oscar Rend is going through the entire project site and the punch list items that my staff developed when they did the walkthroughs with them. Everything is above ground type items, fencing, maybe some services that weren't connected properly, but they're getting close. We're in discussions with the administration every week about their progress.
Well, all the little property they're supposed to fix, have they done that, like people's fences, people's yards, that they messed up? I mean, how do we know that they did what they're supposed to do? Other than if somebody come back and complain and tell us?
Because we developed the list as we walk through. We keep that list, we give them a copy of it. I have an inspector there the whole time that the work's being done, and we don't accept it unless it has our inspector's initials next to it. And then there's one final one right after that anyways. So there's checks and rechecks and checks upon the rechecks.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other discussion? If not, I call for the question. All in favor? 7-0. All right, now I'll call for the question. Huh?
Close it up.
I'll move to recess. Do I have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Paul and Felix. All in favor? All right.
Take those.